Welcome to Motivation Stories Vault, where we explore the deepest corners of the human soul through the eyes of nature. Once, there lived a joyful dog who possessed everything the heart could desire: a loving family, warm food, and loyal friends. His days were filled with laughter and comfort, surrounded by genuine affection and the safety of a home built on love. He never felt the need to search for anything more, for his world was complete, satisfying, and full of peace. Every night, he slept with a full belly and a grateful heart, unaware that a shadow would soon change everything. One crisp morning, as he stepped onto the dew-covered grass, something strange caught his eye, dancing playfully upon the earth. It was a shimmering, dark figure that moved with grace and mystery, seemingly taunting him with its elusive and quick movements. He became convinced that this dancing figure was a magical creature holding the secret to a perfect and eternal happiness. With a sudden burst of energy, he lunged forward to catch it, but the mysterious shape slipped effortlessly from his grasp. An obsession took root in his mind, whispering that he must capture this prize, no matter how far he must run. Without a backward glance at his warm bed or loving owners, he sprinted into the unknown, chasing the phantom figure. He ran across vast meadows where flowers bloomed, yet he saw no beauty, only the dark shape moving ahead of him. Thirst began to dry his throat as he crossed cool streams, but he refused to stop, fearing the prize would vanish. Old friends called out to him from the shade of trees, but he ignored their voices, deaf to everything but desire. The path became rugged and the woods grew dark, yet he pressed on, believing that happiness was just one step away. Sharp thorns tore at his skin and stones bruised his paws, but physical pain meant nothing compared to his desperate chase. Hours turned into days, and days into weeks, as his strong body withered and his bright eyes grew dim with fatigue. He climbed steep, rocky hills where the air was thin, pushing his exhausted limits for a reward that did not exist. In his mind, he constructed a fantasy where catching the shadow would grant him eternal glory and never-ending feasts of joy. But in reality, he was merely a lonely figure in a vast wilderness, starving for food and starving for genuine connection. Cold rain soaked his fur and chilled his bones, yet he panicked only because the lack of sun hit his target. When the sun returned, so did the deception, and he rose from the mud to resume his endless and futile pursuit. Finally, the chase led him to the very edge of a crumbling cliff, where the land ended and the ocean began. Trapped against the precipice, the shadow seemed to stop, and he gathered his last ounce of strength for the final capture. With a triumphant growl, he pinned the dark figure to the ground, believing he had finally conquered the source of happiness. But as he looked beneath his paws, he found nothing but cold dirt and rock, empty of magic or any treasure. The setting sun cast a long silhouette, and the crushing truth struck him. He had been chasing himself the entire time. The illusion shattered instantly, leaving him with the heavy realization that he had wasted his life pursuing a mere optical trick. Panic replaced ambition as he turned his weary body around, desperate to return to the warmth he had so foolishly abandoned. The journey back was long and agonizing, his legs heavy with regret, and his heart burdened by the fear of loss. He finally arrived at the place he once called home, only to find the garden overgrown and the windows dark. He scratched at the door and barked with a broken voice, but only the hollow echo of silence answered his call. His family had moved on, assuming he was lost forever, leaving him alone with nothing but the shadow he once chased. He lay down on the cold porch, understanding too late that he had traded everything real and precious for a nothingness. We often spend our lives running after illusions of the future, believing that happiness is a destination we must reach. We ignore the warmth of the present moment, sacrificing our health and relationships for goals that may just be empty shadows. Happiness is not a distant peak to be conquered, but a gentle flower blooming softly at your very own feet. It resides in the laughter of loved ones, the comfort of a home, and the simple joy of being alive today. Do not let the shadows of ambition blind you to the brilliant light that already shines upon your life right now. Stop chasing the phantom of what could be, and embrace the beautiful reality of what you are blessed to have.
True wealth is not found in what we acquire after a long chase, but in what we cherish and hold close. Let this story be a reminder to pause, look around, and find gratitude before the things you love slip away. The shadow will always be there, but it is the light within your home and heart that truly matters most. May you find your happiness not at the end of a chase, but right here, in this very precious moment. Thank you for watching Motivation Stories Vault. May you find the treasure of happiness right where you stand today. Goodbye.